Hold on tight, because what Tom Bower has just dropped will shatter everything you thought you knew about Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and their marriage. This is not just a bombshell, it's a nuclear explosion of truth that will have you questioning everything you thought was real. And when you hear what Bower's uncovered, you'll be shocked. Trust me, this is going to blow your mind. Now let's dive in. You won't believe this, Harry knew. Yes, you heard that right. He knew about the secret divorce clause, but here's the kicker. Meghan paid him to stay silent about it. Why would she do that? Was Meghan always planning her escape? Was this a calculated move on her part? And why did Harry go along with it, completely blind to what he was really signing up for? Now, you may be wondering, who the heck is Tom Bower? And why should we listen to him? Well, buckle up, because Bower isn't some tabloid journalist, not by a long shot. This guy is a legend in the world of investigative journalism. He spent over 40 years at the BBC, destroying the reputations of powerful people who thought they were untouchable. And when Bower speaks, people listen, because he doesn't just gossip, he exposes the truth. He's the one who brought down media moguls like Robert Maxwell and Mohammed Al-Fayed, and he even got dirt on Simon Cowell. This guy knows how to dig deep. So when Bower says he's uncovered something major about Harry and Meghan, you better believe him.
The real story. I mean, that's the excitement of writing these sort of books, that in the end, nothing beats the truth, the real facts.
Family, except for her mother, they're both essentially the same person. So you deserve each other on Christmas.
On Bowers, it's called Revenge, Meghan, Harry, and the War Between the Windsors. We can speak to the man himself, the author, this morning.
Now, let's talk about the shocking truth Bower uncovered about Meghan and Harry's 2020 situation. You probably thought their marital problems were just about splitting their wealth, right? Well, you couldn't be more wrong. Bower claims that when it comes to the Sussex brand, the narrative they've been selling, the projects they've been working on together, everything was controlled by Meghan. She wasn't just along for the ride, she was driving the whole thing. And the craziest part? Harry had no idea the extent of it.
Now, if you were born in the sunny hills of California, your code is 104. It's been that way for a long time.
All right, this isn't just about money. It's about who owns the stories, the brand, and ultimately, the legacy they've built together. Everything they've created, every interview, every documentary, every podcast, it's all in Meghan's hands. And Harry? He was completely in the dark about what was happening behind the scenes. In 2020, they rewrote everything. Meghan took the reins of the business side of their operations. She made sure she was the one in control. But here's the kicker. It wasn't always supposed to be this way. This wasn't part of their original plan when they got married in 2018. This came later, right when they were making the bold move to leave their royal life behind and chase the Hollywood dream. Let's take a step back.
Since then, based on polling and media coverage, how would you describe the trajectory of Harry and Meghan's reputations?
What happened in 2020 that made all this go down? Think about it. This was the year when everything changed. They weren't just walking away from their royal duties. They were stepping into a new world of Hollywood contracts, Netflix deals, and massive money rolling in from all sides. Netflix, Spotify, production companies were all knocking on their door. And smack in the middle of that frenzy, Meghan was reworking the whole deal. Now, Harry thought it was all a joint effort. He thought they were partners, 50-50, right? Wrong. What Bower uncovered is far darker. Meghan was positioning herself to take the larger cut, and when it came time to split their business profits, guess who took the lion's share? Not Harry, Meghan. It was her name that came first on the Arkewell paperwork. She was in control. But wait, it gets even more shocking. Harry didn't understand the full extent of what he was agreeing to. He thought he was simply helping his wife build their family business. But Meghan? She was playing the long game. She was positioning herself to walk away with everything. So what did Harry get? Well, let's put it this way. The deal they struck wasn't exactly fair. Meghan was set up to control their future, their wealth, their projects, all of it. And Harry? He was left completely vulnerable. This wasn't some random decision. This was calculated, methodical. Meghan had learned from her first marriage. She knew exactly how important it was to protect her financial independence. She wasn't going to let Harry call the shots, and she made sure he didn't. But here's the kicker. Harry went along with it, without fully understanding the consequences. It's not like this came out of nowhere. Meghan had been through this before. She was careful, meticulous about every detail, making sure she wasn't left in the lurch when her first marriage ended. Now, she was doing the same thing with Harry, but in a much bigger way. Meghan was making sure she could stand on her own 2 feet. She was making sure that no matter what happened, she wouldn't be financially dependent on anyone. And so, when 2020 came around and they were packing up to leave the royal family and set up their California life, everything changed. But you're probably asking yourself, how did Harry not see this coming? How did he not realize he was signing up for a deal where Meghan would come out on top? Well, Bauer claims that Meghan wasn't just building her business empire, she was setting herself up for an exit, a clean break where she could walk away with everything they'd built together. Harry didn't realize it at the time, but that's what was happening. And now, as things start to unravel, the truth is coming out. To add fuel to the fire, Meghan wasn't just sitting back waiting for the inevitable to happen. She kept making moves. Her independent projects like the Lemonada podcast and American Riviera Orchard were all about setting her up as her own businesswoman, separate from Harry. The projects they were working on together? Well, they were hers to control. This wasn't just some random business strategy. This was a financial escape plan. Meghan was building a future where she could walk away from Harry and still come out on top. And Harry? He was none the wiser. So where does this leave us? Meghan has everything: the brand, the kids, the money, and the control. Harry? He's stuck in the middle of a storm that he never saw coming. And the worst part? This isn't over. This is just the beginning. What happens next will blow your mind. Now that we've seen how Meghan positioned herself to control everything, let's talk about what's happening now. The cracks in this marriage are starting to show, and the timing is crucial. We're not just looking at a couple going through a rough patch, we're witnessing the unraveling of a master plan, a plan that Meghan seems to have set in motion years ago. It's hard to ignore the signs that Harry's world is falling apart. Bauer's investigation points to a serious shift in Harry's behavior. He's been staying at hotels, bouncing between rooms like someone trying to escape the chaos at home. We all know that living in a mansion with plenty of space for guests doesn't usually lead to hotel stays. So why would Harry choose to stay somewhere else? This is just one of the many telltale signs that the relationship isn't what it appears to be. Separate bedrooms, strategic hotel stays, increasing tension, all signs of a marriage that's falling apart in real time. But why would this be happening now? Let's break it down. It all comes back to Meghan's plan. The PR team that she brought back in January, the same team that specializes in handling high-profile splits, that's not a coincidence. Sunshine Sachs, the crisis PR firm, doesn't just handle your average Hollywood drama. They are experts at managing messy breakups, public divorces, and image control when a marriage is headed for a crash landing. But wait, this isn't just some random attempt to save face. This is preparation. Meghan is building a narrative for when everything finally blows up. The timing is key. Typically, when a couple is about to split, PR teams like Sunshine Sachs are brought in 3 to 6 months in advance. And guess what? This is exactly what's happening right now. Meghan is already preparing the world for her exit, even if Harry hasn't fully figured it out yet. This is where it gets even more interesting. Meghan's been very strategic about her financial independence. While Harry has been focusing on their shared projects, Meghan has been building a financial empire of her own. Remember those separate ventures we mentioned earlier? Well, they're all about creating distance between her and Harry. No ties to him, no strings attached. It's almost as if Meghan's been positioning herself to walk away with no financial dependence on Harry. We've seen it in her recent moves. American Riviera Orchard? All Meghan. The Lemonada podcast? Meghan solo. And The Bench, the children's book she wrote? All hers. Harry has been completely cut out of these projects, and yet the media still paints the picture of them as this happy united couple. But the truth? Meghan's preparing for the inevitable. It's like a masterclass in how to protect your wealth during a marriage breakdown. Meghan's not just letting things fall apart naturally. She's managing everything, making sure that her assets remain protected, and Harry's assets? Well, they're up in the air. What about the $38 million debt that keeps getting mentioned in reports? That's not just overspending, that's a strategy. Reorganizing funds, moving assets, it's all about protecting what's hers, and ensuring that if the worst happens, she'll walk away with everything. So, what's next in this unfolding drama? The pieces are falling into place, and Harry's just starting to realize it. As the PR machines kick into high gear, Meghan is slowly laying the groundwork for her future, without Harry. And the worst part? Harry's starting to feel it. But he's still in the dark. Harry's been getting more emotional lately, talking about how the media has wrecked Meghan's life, breaking down in interviews over coverage that happened before they even met. Is this really about defending his wife? Or is it a desperate attempt to cling to a marriage that's already slipping through his fingers? The timing is telling. Crisis PR specialists are back on the scene. Meghan's building a future without him, and Harry? Well, he's still fighting the same old battles. In the media, it seems like they're both still fighting for the same cause. But behind the scenes, Meghan is setting herself up for a clean exit. The writing's on the wall. The fact that Harry's been so emotionally reactive tells you everything you need to know. He's starting to realize that the relationship is slipping, but the pieces have already been set in motion. What about the house? The big California mansion they share? Well, insiders say Harry's not even sleeping in the same room anymore. They're in separate bedrooms, and the rumors are flying about Harry staying in hotels. Why would you do that if things were fine at home? Does this sound like a couple trying to work things out? Or does it sound like one person already positioning themselves for an exit, while the other is too emotionally caught up to see the truth? It doesn't take a genius to see the pattern here. Meghan has been laying the groundwork for years, and now, as everything starts to fall apart, she's already preparing to leave. Harry, he's still struggling to put the pieces together. But here's the kicker. As Meghan's planning her escape, she's already getting ready to sell her side of the story. A tell-all book? Oh, it's coming, and Meghan's already shopping it around. The insiders know, and so does Harry. He just doesn't know the full extent of what he's walked into. Everything Harry thought was part of their future, it's all slipping through his fingers. So what happens next? If Bauer's timeline holds up, the next 6 months are going to be explosive. This marriage is heading for disaster, and Meghan's exit strategy is already well underway. The separate ventures, the PR rehiring, the new business empire, they're all part of a calculated plan to ensure that when it's all over, Meghan walks away with everything. And Harry? He's left with nothing. It's clear now, Meghan's already planned for this moment. She knew what she was doing all along. And Harry? He's about to find out the hard way. This isn't just about a marriage falling apart, it's about one person already setting themselves up for the next phase while the other person is completely blindsided. The game is almost over before Harry even realizes he was playing